The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome all to another wonderful day at the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. Wow, we've got a market here that's very, very interesting. Not a lot of volume, but very interesting. We're up almost 5 points on the S&P cash, just over 2 billion shares as we start the day. Certainly not the kind of volume we want to see breaking out the tops, and of course we tested it today on the S&P, so it's going to be very interesting what we do in the next day or two. Of course, options expiration tomorrow. We are very much a push to the very high side of options expiration, and I actually went and bought a few White Lightning lottery tickets. They've become incredibly cheap. Everybody's pretty much saying 99.9999% we're not going lower tomorrow. And when the odds are that good, I just had to dip in and buy a few way out of the money puts in case something really exciting happens. And when you can buy a $500 stock, be short it for 20 cents or 15 cents. You just need to be right every once in a while. So dipping my toe in the water of buying a few puts for tomorrow and a lot more for next month, especially with the VIX where it's at. Pretty decent. So easy a caveman could do it, someone says in the den. But anyway, it is going to be very interesting. Anyway, I should either lose a little money or make a whole lot, depending on whether or not the market swings my way. But I need just a hair under 1,700 on the S&P tomorrow. And to tell you the truth, just an interesting market out here we're going to get into in a minute. On this day in 1931, gangster Al Capone is sentenced to 11 years in prison for tax evasion and fined $80,000, signaling the downfall of one of the most notorious criminals of the 20s and 30s. If you've not ever been to Alcatraz, they'll take you up and you get to go into the cell that Al Capone had, or at least I was able to, but that was like in the early 90s. Did a lot of work in San Francisco and ended up renting a houseboat right next to Pier 39. And spent probably over the years, maybe 6 months out there. But every chance I had, they no longer rent boats there. But it was nice to be able to be down there right on Fisherman's Wharf and take the boat out to Alcatraz. Met several of the people that had been in Alcatraz as inmates. Met one guard too. Most of them had written books. Talked to one gentleman that had been in there, and he was his parents died or something. He was like 15, and his sister was 12, and he robbed some store to get enough money. Ended up stealing $5 or something, but because the store was also a post office, it was a federal offense. Got thrown into the federal system. And escaped like 8 times from just about every prison that there was. And so they put him in Alcatraz. He tried to break out of Alcatraz too. Was not successful. One of his buddies ended up frying in the steam tunnel next to one of the steam pipes. But kind of a very neat story, because every once in a while you have to be reminded that sometimes there is redemption, not often. But this gentleman, after his sister came and visited him and said that she'd help him, and he became a radiologist in Alcatraz and went to work for a hospital after he got out, and spent 40 years after Alcatraz living in San Francisco and being an assistant in a radiology lab. And I think in 1988 or 87 was actually pardoned by Reagan. And very interesting guy to meet and see that sometimes you can turn your life around. Of course, he talked a lot about the Birdman of Alcatraz. Someone brought that up. And he said that of people that he had ever met in all the prisons, that the Birdman was the most evil man that he had ever met. Mean, nasty, and evil. He said if they could have electrocuted him 100 times, it wouldn't have been still just. And he says that he made everybody's life as miserable as possible, including the warden and the staff. And he said that he used to get regular beatings because of it. I imagine they didn't cotton much to that, especially in Alcatraz. And I think, what did he go back to Leavenworth to die or something? But he said that why he was a shining example of someone that could be rehabilitated. He wasn't. He was pretty sure that not all could, and he thought that old Mr. Birdman, what is his name? Carpus. I think his name was Carpus. Just pure evil. He said that's what he imagined the devil was like. Well, anyway, enough of my war stories of going out and visiting Alcatraz. But good, if you ever get out there, well worth the, it's like $10 or something to go out there. Implied odds. I was talking a little bit about buying out of the money puts and calls right here. The reason why is the VIX dipped to a ridiculously low level. That we are up here testing highs on no volume would, to me, say that we probably, or light volume would say to me that old VIX should be much higher. That the chances that we've made a high are at least good. And that no one is willing to put any downside risk on here still makes me think that the market is rabidly optimistic, especially after what we saw in earnings last night. Anyway, if you Google implied odds, there'll be a lot more about it. But we can learn a lot from games, especially games that have a scientific theme to them, much like playing cards. And implied odds are if you expect to win a lot more money from your opponent after you make a draw, then you have good implied odds. If you anticipate that you will not be able to get any more money out of your opponent on future rounds, then you have little or no implied odds. The whole point is whether or not you add or subtract, well, they can't really subtract in cards, but add additional risk to your position. And I think if you haven't ever watched people playing Hold'em on TV, it's getting less and less. I notice I haven't seen them for a while. But if you watch them, very, very good decision-making by the people at the very highest levels of that game. And not saying that you should go become a huge poker player, but when I hear a lot of the great traders out here in the marketplace, Andy was talking about going and playing cards. I know that most of the very hot hands on Wall Street right now go and play cards. They actually have a yearly event, and I think it was David. That was David Tepper. It was one of the other Davids. Has won it ongoing for 2 or 3 years, but he's also one of the hottest hands on Wall Street. Making decisions like that, understanding your risk and reward, all part of it. You can learn a lot. Game Theory 101 is, or just game theory, is a scientific study of strategically interdependent decision making. And, of course, the primary example of this is called the prisoner's dilemma, and it posits what happens when 2 criminals are arrested and they don't have enough evidence to charge them, but if they can get one to flip on the other, they'll let the guy that wants to flip go free as long as he rats out the other guy. Now, if both of them rat out each guy, then each other, then they'll both end up doing 5 years. If one guy rats out one guy before the other, then the one guy is going to get 10 years, the other guy gets to walk. And the question is, how do you really go through the method of what's the right thing for the prisoners to do, since they can't really talk to each other? Normally the police will separate you and start asking you questions. Very interesting kind of a mind game. But if you go to GameTheory101.com and you want to learn more about it, probably some very good things to think about in going and having the prisoner's dilemma. The reason I bring that up is that when you get to a high, it actually is or a low is a exercise in the prisoner dilemma game of game theory, and that is, if you sell, then maybe the other guy's got to sell, but he's going to sell at a lower price. If both of you or everybody hangs tough, then the stocks and the market can go higher. Now, what we look at in charts is whether or not these guys are ratting each other out, if they're buying or if they're just not selling. And that's what we need from afar, using our charts and volume to take a look at. Whether or not they're going to cooperate, they're both going to rat each other out. If one's going to rat out the other one, and it's a game of trying to figure out what everybody, or at least the composite man, is going to do in the market. But we have gone up. We have tested the 1729 high everybody looked about. We've got 2.1 billion shares, and that does not signal to me that we've got a ringing endorsement of a market that's going higher. Could we gap higher and get volume? Answer is yes, but at the moment, if we close out here with projected volume so far today, you have a sell signal on this market. Of course, what we do have is just a plethora. I don't get to say that word enough. A plethora. And anyway, a plethora of earnings announcements that are highly disappointed. Goldman Sachs came out today, and its first report as a member of the Dow. Goldman Sachs beat the street, but only after taking a chainsaw to its expenses. Hang on just a second. Let's get a quote on Goldman Sachs now. But almost all of these companies out here, as I said, the average for the earnings per share is about multiple is about 16 right now on the S&P 500. Historically, you want to see an average around 12, and 8 is probably where you get long time buys. We're at 16, which is at the statistically wide far end of being a market that is priced for perfection. But certainly, we got Goldman Sachs off $4.29, down $2.66. We'll be back in a minute.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And the name that I was looking for was David Einhorn. We were talking about the guy that wins the poker championships year after year in Wall Street. We have a caller. We're going to go right to him, and it's Dan from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. How you doing today, Dan?
Doing okay.
So what are you going to tell us from a state that I guess has a new senator today?
Well, I mean, you know, in New Jersey, you shouldn't expect any Republican senators to win.
I didn't figure as much. But the old guy you had, what was his name?
Lautenberg.
Oh, yeah. But wasn't he the guy that reminded me of the creepy Bond character? Wasn't he kind of like, he had kind of a strange accent and everything? Or was that another one?
You know what, I didn't follow him that much, but I do know he was probably in office, I don't know, 30 years or something.
Yeah.
But
always reminded me of a Bond villain maybe coming out or something. But
that could go for pretty much any politician.
Well, that's true. We can use a broad brush on politicians today.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, Dave, I stepped into UVXY yesterday,
okay.
Late in the day, and then I still got stopped out, which is good because the stop worked because we're down another 10% on the UVX today.
Yep.
But I'm looking at it, and it looks like the MACD is coming together.
So you are talking about the VIX. You're not talking about VIIX.
Well, VIIX for the single or UVXY for the double.
Well, this one says Credit Suisse Nassau branch.
No, sir. I'm sorry. VIIX. Victor Igloo X-ray.
Yeah. Credit Suisse Nassau branch. VIIX.
How about just UVXY?
Okay.
That would, yeah.
That's what I figured you were talking about the VIX. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to see what your thoughts were about, coming down so hard, where would you just wait for this to bounce and then come back on a retracement, or what are your thoughts on that?
This is one of the few places that you can probably bet that we've had some kind of bottom. The problem is how much farther you think you can force the VIX down. I think part of this is just enforced selling. I'd probably just be hanging on to the thing. I think you've got an excellent chance to see it back up at that $47.50 mark, and there's probably a lot to that. But this isn't like a company that can go out of business or gold that can sell out. The bet would be that we're not going to have any volatility. And down at these levels, that's basically what it is. The bet is that we just aren't going to have any. It's beyond me that you could bet that way ever. That's like saying, I'll give you $1 that your house never, insure your house for $1 that it'll never burn down. It's going to eventually burn down, and it's ridiculous to think that a $1 premium for an insurance policy would cover it. The only thing is you have to wait for these things to come back around. I would just hang on to it.
I got to step back in because yesterday I was stopped out.
Yeah. This is going to be an extremely volatile one. I just, when I traded, I just spend a little less money, and this is one of the few ones that's going to always come back to you. It's not. It's if you try to go long at maybe 47.50, that's different. At anything around $30, the chances of it staying down below there for any length of time are slim and none.
Right.
So I think this is a huge buying opportunity. Even if this thing would go much lower, it's not like a company that can go out of business. You are betting that there won't be any volatility, and we've already seen monster volatility from last night. I suspect a lot of this is a little hangover from the government, a little bit of options expiration, but I wouldn't have any problem buying it right here.
Yeah. The single on this is Victor Igloo X-ray.
I come up with something different.
Okay.
So let me.
All right.
I think it's if it's VIIX, it's not on my system.
All right.
VIIX. Nope. Anyway, any other questions?
Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit about earnings. IBM, of course, came out with earnings last night. We talked about it yesterday. I said my spidey sense went off when William Buffett from Berkshire Hathaway was out pimping it in the morning. I figured he was trying to get out before the earnings that night. He said he had been buying some. My guess is that he bought 10 shares and then sold 10 million if he could have yesterday. But my guess is we're going to see his next statement show that he sold a lot yesterday. I opined that I thought that just about every time I do the opposite of whatever he said on CNBC, since my first introduction to him was him lying about buying Coca-Cola and being a great company when his filings a couple weeks later showed that he'd been actively and horrendously selling it. Of course, all along the time he talked about bad about options, called them sewage, and of course ended up with the biggest derivative of business outside New York. He said how horrifically stupid it was for all these companies to have private jets for the corporation. And, of course, he bought a corporation jet company. What is that? Forget. Anyway, so I thought yesterday him coming out and pimping it was probably just a way of being on TV, bad-mouthing some politicians. But most important was to pimp this yesterday and hopefully get some people and get him out of some of it before it tanked last night. Down to a low of 172.57. The 1-to-1 ABC on this is going to be what? Let me just go back and look at it real quick. Give me just a second here. What do we want? Expansions? Yeah, that's what we want. What do we want? I want, what is that? 194 is the A. Do we have that? No? Okay. So that's the A. We've got the B here. Yeah, hang on. There we go. B, C. Okay. That would take us to 170.81. We got to 172.57. We got about another $2, 175 down. Pretty much got all the way to the 1-to-1 all in one shot. Probably where we think this is going, since it had such a huge move down, probably going to go sideways for a while. But I'm looking for this to go down to 160.81, which is the 1 to 168.1 expansion on IBM. Yes, Google does report after the close. Acting kind of weird also today, which was normally you get a run-up into Google, but some people taking some pot shots at it today in the news, and that may have kept it from doing much and rolling over. I don't know how accurate those calls are, but more than a few out here saying that Google doesn't have a lot of upside. Now, this is one of the stocks that has been having lower highs and lower lows for the most part. It does have a higher volume low down here on the October 9th low. But just a little doji was down there for a little while that day, but still down there. And my guess is that this is probably going to break opposite of the true longer trend. So if we see this thing break out tonight above 928, 929, or in the next couple of days, and there's no volume up here, probably figure it short. If it comes back down, then if it could get back down probably around the 720, 705 area, there's some nice gaps down there. And I suspect that's where you would want to buy this thing long term. I just don't see a whole lot here one way or the other until earnings. And two, it certainly wouldn't be a company that I'd short for the most part. They are going to have rather transparent earnings. There isn't going to be generally a lot of surprise. My guess is that all the movement tonight on Google will be on their forecast going forward for ad sales. But we'll take a look at it. Of course, other stocks out here just getting creamed besides IBM. The entire semiconductor space just looking really ugly today. Cypress Semiconductor was down about 3% at one point out here. Certainly got into these lows. People have been buying it out today, but a low of 861 out here, even though it had a lighter volume, probably by the end of the day going to have a similar volume. So I'm looking for this thing to weaken in the days ahead. Other ones in that same space, Fairchild Semiconductor space, Fairchild Semiconductor, another one, similar kind of dragonfly doji out here, being on the pushing on the market itself, but again, way lower open out here, $12.19, a lot of volume. Looks like no matter how bad the forecast is, people are looking for a place to put their money and not taking stay away for an answer. Another one was Xilinx. They came out with earnings last night. Another one of these kind of spinning, I wouldn't call them a dragonfly exactly. I guess they're called dragonflies to some extent in the candle terminology. But again, down on just heavy volume. I think that maybe we're getting a little bit of people coming in trying to save the market, but I suspect we're probably going to see a lot of these selling off in the coming days. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. What else do we have? Verizon was out today. And they actually are one of the few stocks that is a bright spot in earnings. And this one actually is and did hit its previous high of September 19th today. It is going to have far stronger volume. Interestingly enough, though, it can't hold its highs, which is this pattern we've been seeing for a long time, which is breaking above previous highs or breaking highs, finding all kinds of volume and not being able to hold those highs. But going to be very interesting to watch Verizon at the close and whether or not it closes below that $48.89 high, since it does truly have the volume. If it stays in this trading range, probably wouldn't short it, but I would imagine it's probably going to hang out at these levels for a while. Other stocks of interest are, hang on just a second, because I had a couple of them that were interesting. And let's see what else is there. I wanted to get to the euro. Very interesting move in the dollar and gold today. Congratulations to Tom for buying gold yesterday. If he would have seen the move in the dollar, I'm wondering if he would have thought about buying gold out here. But certainly the gold index is off, 83? Now it's 80 cents at 79.75. Very interesting move out here. And we are back into this gap. But one thing we don't have in it is any kind of real volume. That gap actually occurred and started on October 31st of 2011 with a 5.2 million shares. So maybe it's going to come back and actually fill this gap fairly soon. But the bottom of that gap is going to be right back here. And, hang on just a second. Let me take a look at it. That gap happened on October 31st, 5.2 million shares. But the bottom of that gap, the close of the day before, was $17.15. So as you look at EUO out here today at 17.35, had a low of 17.32, but maybe another 17 cents out here. I had not bought it. Just because I thought that the gap up in that thing, I didn't like the way that it had been moving off that low. Didn't think it was bad, but certainly you got about 17 cents more pain out here, and any probably close back above 17.50 would have me getting back or have me getting into the EUO out here, and. But a very interesting move here in the dollar. I don't suspect it's going to last more than a couple of days, and that'll be probably the interesting part of it. Let's see what else we have out here. IBM EU. I've got about 5 shorts. 4 of them are still doing well with this huge move that we've had out here the last couple of days. I'm still in them, and on the profit side of several of them. So it's not even that I've hit come close to stopping out on the majority of them, but actually still on the positive side of these. So there are a lot of stocks, especially on the tech side, that continue to be rather weak. But what was else I was looking at out here? Let's take a look. We talked about Google. Amazon's down $1.29. This thing just doesn't seem to run out of all the energy above 300. See that they're getting sued at their distribution centers. We're going to actually have one of the big distribution centers here in a few months in Tampa. I think it's just going to be east of Tampa, actually. back a little bit more in the state. And kind of interesting to see this thing above $300, kind of acting as support, but the bounce is just not a whole lot of energy out here. I guess it goes back to how many companies are going to be predicting lower Christmas sales in the next few days. Of course, just about everybody on the business side has been doing that, and we see more and more of these other companies coming along. And it is, the more retail companies coming along and coming out with earnings. Someone asked yesterday in the Den when a lot of the retailers are going to report again. They report normally just a few days before Thanksgiving, and then they give a kind of a forecast of what they think Christmas sales are going to be. So normally it's that week, Monday, Tuesday, or the Friday before Thanksgiving, you'll see those folks come out with earnings. See what else I had out here on my list. We got about 3 minutes left. You can certainly give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. We have plenty of time for you to call. Let's take a quick look at the GLD. Nice bounce off this gap. Tom and I were doing our seminar last night, and one of the things, normally if I see a lot of stocks popping up in my scans from gold, I'll forward them onto them. And for about the last week, we've been seeing a lot of those stocks move, and certainly had GLD with a nice pop out here today. You got right into that gap. That gap had a nice move, and that was on the 11th of June, 11th of July, I guess 11th of July, and came on about 11.2 million shares. We actually got into it with more volume, which is what's made me a little bit suspicious of this jump and whether or not it's going to be enough. We're also getting into this huge volume day bar of the 18th of September. That volume bar had 24.8 million shares. My question is going to be, or very interesting, going to be the call on whether or not this is a sign of strength into that bar, or just a little bounce on the way back down to 114.68 on the Spiders Gold Trust ETF. But going to be next couple of days going to be very critical. I could understand the call to go long. I'm just waiting pretty much for that 1200 level. I think that there's still a 50-50 chance we get it. I can understand being long out here, and I don't have a dog in this hunt, but I keep on thinking that we're going to get at least one more bite at the apple on gold out here. At least that's my call. Intel came out with earnings. It's up a little, INTC. Those earnings have been out for a couple of days. Really hasn't affected so much. It's mostly their forecast. It's pretty much back up to its previous highs that we saw on September 19th. But today we're going to be highly short volume like we are in the general market, which is going to be problematic. Oh, we've got a phone call. When we come back, don't have enough time in this segment, but we'll be back in just a minute and talk to Mohammed about CMG. Hang in there, Mohammed. I'll get right with you when we get back.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
TFNN has just announced a special sale for 2 weeks only for the Gold Report. To celebrate the 600th weekly issue of Tom O'Brien's Gold Report being published on October 22nd, TFNN is having a special one-time sale. From now until October 22nd only, you can receive 60 weeks of the Gold Report. That's 14 months for only $600. We're offering Tom O'Brien's dynamic weekly newsletter at only $10 a week, which is almost half off the regular monthly price. The Gold Report is published every Tuesday and provides subscribers with Tom O'Brien's expert commentary on the industry, as well as detailed information on a variety of mining equities. Take advantage of this one-time special offer and pay only $600 for 60 weeks of the Gold Report. This offer is valid for current or new subscribers. Everyone is welcome to take part in this special promotion as we celebrate the 600th weekly issue of the Gold Report. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.
Join Andy Hecht as he teaches you how to make money in commodities. The Commodities Hour, next on TFNN.
And it is Thursday, one of the 2 days that I'm stalked here at TFNN by someone following me. And that will be Andy Hecht directly after the show. He, of course, plays cards. I wonder if he has any comments about what you can learn in trading by playing cards or games of chance without losing too much money, hopefully. And we're going to go to Mohammed and talk about CMG. How are you doing today? Mr. Muhammad, are you there?
Hi, David. How are you? Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So what's your question on Chipotle here?
Yeah, they're coming out with their earnings this afternoon. Was wondering about your thoughts on where it might be headed.
Yeah, October 17th. To tell you the truth, the problem with this one right now is that you had a lot of people get it short. Basil got a good hammer on it once for about $100 move in it. But what's happened since then is everybody's gotten short it. Then you got some big street operators that have been out here running it. And the question is what they are going to say. And, of course, normally the heads of those companies are in cahoots with the people that are running and operating the stock. So I'm not going to expect them to say anything bad and let the shorts out easy on this one. But at the same time, I'm not expecting any kind of blowout numbers. One thing I haven't seen is anything really ugly in the charts that would say it was over. But so many of these charts, you just come out and it's out of the blue now that you finally see the numbers catching up with these people. I think it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen on the earnings call. I have a feeling that maybe they'll go another 6 weeks in and then announce it or something. But there's a great deal of people operating this stock. You know what that is, right?
Right.
Okay, big operators like Icon and the rest of these folks, and they've all ganged up on this one. I think they're all in this, pushing it higher. Eventually, it is going to break, but I think you need to wait for it to break before shorting it and wait for it to bounce, light volume bounce, come back. There's just nothing to put your hat on right now. If this thing started to slip in after hours, my guess is you'll have a nanosecond to get this thing, get short this thing. But I don't know, just awful tough knowing that you still have high short interest in it and a lot of operators in it. I'm willing to go a little higher these days on my tolerance for how big the short interest is. I'm not willing to go very far when I know that a big stock operator is pushing a stock until I get some kind of sign that they are out of it. And I haven't seen the sign that they're starting to distribute or thinking of selling it yet, which makes me think that I don't think there's probably a lot of upside to it, but I have a feeling you're going to get some kind of dip, some kind of reaction to that dip, and then some selling. Andy's on after the show also. I know that a lot of cattle have died up in the Northeast, and that's probably going to hurt at least some of their meat costs. But for everything I understand about this company, it's all about labor costs and food costs. So right now, food costs have been coming down. Corn's been coming down. That's going to help somebody like CMG. I'd also probably like to see food costs going up to really start putting the screws on CMG to short it again, if that's what you're asking. Or you're not long, right?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I just don't see it, and maybe Andy will talk about whether we see a big move in the food costs. But still looks to me pretty mundane for corn, especially for the last couple of years, what corn has looked like, some of the other ones. Meat costs look like, to me, their biggest weakness. But we'll see what they say tonight in the conference call. I want to thank you for the call, Mohammed. We'll see you tomorrow, same bat channel, same bat time, in the studio.
Are you ready to ride the next bull market wave? Catch the Chapman Wave. Using the Chapman Wave methodology, Basil's very comprehensive daily newsletter, The Opening Call, gives the short, intermediate, long-term analysis for the key indexes. In his Trader's Corner, he gives a brief market summary and expectation for the day with possible trades, both long and short, which are reviewed daily. A position subscribers sold recently for a 42% on part, plus a 64% on rest. At Hertz Global as a core position for 6 months before exiting the position. A current position entered as a turnaround company with good technicals based on Basil's waveform is trading up to 170% of its entry point as a portion sold earlier for a 21% gain. Subscribers to the Opening Call can see the Chapman Wave techniques demonstrated and explained daily to educate investors. To get your 2-week free trial to the Opening Call, just visit the front page of TFNN.com. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern on TFNN.